Let's get an analyst live to speak about what Nirmal Bang's view is on MCX. Silky Jain, research analyst at Nirmal Bang Securities, joins us right now for that. Silky, good to have you. Thanks so much for joining in. This is Neeraj here. Good morning. What's the sense, Silky? A 30-35% uptick on listing. For somebody who's missed out on the issue, what would you recommend?
Yeah, it's a very good issue price, listing price you can say. For those who have missed out on getting the shares, they can enter at a very good level of 1300 to 1350. I think that is a fair enough price to enter because long-term story for MCX stands very good, and we do expect that the stock can reach around 1700 levels in the near term. So I think overall you can enter at around 1300, 1350 levels for the stock.
What kind of upside do you see, Silky, from these levels from a purely valuation perspective?
Yeah, on valuation front, if we see on FY13, if we calculate a growth of around 15%, say, so the EPS turns out to be around 67, 68, and we can see that it is trading at a PE of around 20-21 times, which is fair enough if we compare to other developing exchanges like the Hong Kong or the Malaysia Stock Exchange. So the pricing seems quite reasonable, and at current valuation the stock is attractive and it can be hold on for a longer period of time with a price target of around 1700, 1650 to 1700 over the longer term.
Okay, Silky, I was reading a note, in fact a couple of notes. One of them seemed to suggest that, of course, when the options contract, as and when they are permitted to be offered, when they come into picture, and looking at how options activity is picking up even in the equity markets per se, or globally in the commodity markets, there'll be substantial uptick to trading volumes in MCX, which have locked in, what, 35-40% CAGR growth over the last 2 or 3 years. I mean, how probable is that, and how much of an upside could that provide to your target price, if and when they should happen?
Yeah, introduction of option is definitely going to be a positive ticker for the company, and as we are expecting it should happen very soon. So overall, if options are introduced in the exchanges, so definitely MCX is the biggest beneficiary for this. So overall this will add up to the volumes, because currently the volumes are, if you see, volumes are quite lower as compared to the global markets. So introduction of options will lead to a very high volume uptick, which will also add to the pricing. So we believe that this is a good opportunity going forward for if introduction of options is done in the exchanges.
And no threat, Silky, from the commodity transaction tax which may be levied and which may actually bring the trading volumes down, if at all. I mean, let's work with an assumption that it would bring it down. You don't consider that a big enough threat?
No, it is, as we all are watching, we need to see what happens in the union budget, which is upcoming in the next week. So definitely commodities transaction tax is the biggest thing to watch out for. And even if it is imposed, like what we feel is, even if it is imposed, there may be a short-term hindrance on the volumes. As we've seen, there may be some near-term impact on the volumes. But overall, I don't think that it should impact the volumes for a longer period of time, because we've already seen that even equity markets, when STT was imposed, the volumes were impacted a little bit earlier, but then if we look at it now, it's not such a great deal. So as and when regulatory issues and hurdles do come up, but this is some which you can say a short-term possibility which will impact the volumes, but eventually over the longer term it will fade away and investors will get used to it and digest it. So I don't think so that it would create a big problem for MCX going forward.
Okay, Silky, the other bit is, I mean, you're sounding bullish enough on the stock, which is why I'm asking you, what is your biggest, or what is the biggest red flag that you would draw to the potential of MCX going to the target price and beyond? I mean, you're recommending a long-term subscribe to MCX even from the current levels, a range of 1300 to 1350. What's the biggest red flag to your mind?
What we feel is, if suppose the STT is like one thing which can impact, but apart from this, if option contracts are not introduced very soon, or there may be lack of market participants which can have a bit impact. Apart from this, even the MCX deal which is going on, the legal battle which is going on, if that is not in favor, of MCX, and that can also have a little bit impact on the valuation or the financials of the company. But that also, we feel that it would be quite limited because MCX holds only 5% of it. So we feel these are some possibilities near term, these 3-4 things which can, impact the volumes as well as the financials of the company. So these, according to us, we feel that these are the things which can impact in the near term.
You have compared the valuations of MCX with some of the international listed exchanges. Do you believe that, with a 33% premium, there would perhaps be more upside to the stock from here? You have spoken about the kind of upside that you see, but what I'm trying to assess from you essentially is that for investors who've invested in the issue, should they take some money off the table and then re-enter at these levels, or should they just ride the wave?
Basically, what we feel is at this level it's trading around 1350, 1400 at currently. So we would recommend that they can hold on for long-term perspective, because as we see, the commodity market is still to grow and reach up to the global peers. Although if you see on the valuation front, the developed exchanges are trading at around 16, 17 times, and developing exchanges are trading anywhere between 24 to 28, 29 times. So if we look at this, so even if we count FY13 valuations, MCX would be trading at around 21, 22 range, which is quite attractive and valuable. We feel it's comparatively reasonable as compared to other developing exchanges.